I think my love for the game really stems from my grandpa, and the Seeking Scratch story is kind of this way that I can almost get closer to him. He only ever got down to around 3 or 4 handicap, and I think because of that there's this innate desire to see how far I can push myself, because I've been able to hit a club since I was young. I've always known kind of the path and the feeling of hitting a golf ball, whereas a lot of people might not do that until their younger years as a child. So I think for me, maybe there's a bit of an advantage in doing so, but equally, because I didn't continue, maybe the advantage is gone. But here as a 25-year-old in my journey down to scratch, I think it's really something that I just want to do to A, just see how far I can go, and B, also to kind of feel a little bit closer to my grandpa, and to just see if I can beat him, really. That would be the aim, and if I can get round to playing tournaments and shooting scores of, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 under, I think that's going to be something that's going to be kind of like a lifelong achievement for me. But overall, I think the Seek and Scratch journey, although we're only 4 or 5 episodes in, I think it is showing me kind of the toughness and the resilience I'm going to need to continually keep improving. And I think it can be challenging at times, and there's obviously the desire to just chill and not do anything, and obviously with something like that there's not going to be any improvement. And it's just kind of the reality of getting down to a scratch handicap that is setting on me. I think there's always going to be places that I can improve, and places in which obviously there's time limitations. You get home from work at like 6 p.m. and you've got to cook, you've got to eat, and is there really any time? It's a case of you go to the range and you continue to practice and get better, or you've got to put some love and some faith in your relationships. So there's a catch-22, and obviously to get better at golf, you've got to really put as much time as you can into it. And I think the realization of, I just need to play this as much as I can is really setting in. So it's the 13th of September, Friday. I've taken the day off work to go play around with Harry. And I always enjoy playing with Harry because we're of a very similar ability, and we both went to school together, and we both kind of picked up playing golf again around the same time. So playing with him compared to some other people that I play with, we always manage to push each other and really shoot best that we can around the course. And Harry's just signed up to a course which we're playing today, which is Tilney course over near Basingstoke, and it took about an hour for me to get there. But once we were there, it really was quite truly beautiful and very respectable, very similar to Hanbury Manor in terms of length. And today we did decide that we were going to be playing off the tips. Because of that, it did play quite long. It was about 7,500, and honestly, because I didn't know the course and we were walking, and there was the case of me obviously setting up a camera to film the whole experience, I feel like I could have shot a lot better. But on the first hole, I somehow managed to save par, and you see, after me even whacking the ball into a tree back onto the fairway and getting an amazing up and down to save par, I kind of had my hopes pretty high, especially going into the second hole, where I did the exact same thing. I hit a mini driver straight middle of the fairway. It was my fairway finder of the day, and I ended up getting another up and down. Now, that didn't continue, and I think I let my hopes get a bit too high, because I was recording myself coming down that third fairway saying that I'm playing amazingly. I've only had 2 putts so far, I've made par, and I think I really did speak a little bit too early, because the third hole I ended up going straight into a bunker on my third shot, struggled to get out, ended up fitting it over the green, and I saw my first double bogey of the day. Now, that wasn't something that wouldn't go away. It kind of became something that would set precedent for the rest of the round, and I had quite a few double bogeys from there on out. Looking at my scorecard, I went par par, and then we had a double 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 double, and honestly I think after the 6th hole and having my 4th double in a row, I was feeling very disheartened and very beaten up by the course. Although I had some amazing shots and I had many opportunities, I think it kind of came down to a lot of my own ability kind of letting me down. Like I say, a lot of good shots, but equally a lot of shots that really shouldn't have happened. Some really stupid thinning of shots, chunking, and obviously if we're getting down to scratch, these aren't shots that we should be doing. I need to focus a lot more and looking how the ball's lying on the grass, seeing what the grass is doing, and is it going to be a floater, is it going to be a flyer? Like, these are things that I need to start taking into account, and I feel like I definitely didn't end up playing my best around this course because I hadn't seen Harry in a while, and it kind of was taught as a bit of a catch-up rather than a constant let's shoot as low as you can around the course. It was more of a social golf experience, although I was putting it in for my handicap. So as we made the turn, as you can guess, I made another double bogey, but then on the 11th my luck completely changed and I did end up making a birdie, and that was a really long par 5 that I hit driver off. I landed just next to a bunker on the fairway, and I sent 4-iron all the way up to the green, landed just short, and had a little 2-putt, and I made the birdie, you know, and that really felt like it put me back in the game. Like I say, if I focused a lot more in what I was doing, I feel like I would have had a much better round, but because I just let that spiral, and I think a lot of us have that as an instinct and have that as something that kind of, it ruins our game eventually because we just let it spiral and we let it get out of control. And I think that's where the mental side of golf comes into play. And while this wasn't my best round, it was definitely something that I can look back on and try to improve on. As I show you the results on the screen so far, I kind of went home and just decided to reflect a little bit on that round today. But then the following day, I was going to film at Hanbury Manor, and it was the second time playing there with Logan and Danny and the others, but something told me to kind of just leave the camera at home, and that's when something kind of special happened. Right, quick update. The others are still playing, finishing off the par 5 on the 9th, and somehow I've just hit a birdie, and I'm only 5 over through the front 9. I think this time, last time I was 9 over, so I'm pretty chuffed with how we're playing, but I'll give you another major update towards the end. And obviously, the first time we played at Hanbury, we shot 15 over, and we had buggies, so yes, we weren't walking, I wasn't getting tired, and after shooting that birdie, I think I really felt on a roll, because I was 5 over through 9 at Hanbury Manor, playing off the tips, bear in mind. Okay, we are currently 9 over through 15, trying to beat the sunlight here, and we've got a couple more holes to go. I'm trying to keep it under 10 because it's going to bring my handicap really far down. Let's see how we do. Okay, we just hit our shot, landed just short, so we got this for a birdie up at the moment. Honestly, it was some of the best golf that I had ever played, and I was really chuffed with it. So it was just a race against time to get the round done, and we were playing so well. Just finished my round, and as you can tell, it is pitch black, and honestly, because I didn't have the camera today, I've just shot 10 over playing off the tips here at Hanbury Manor, and it's going to do wonders for my handicap because
like I say, it's where the DP World Tour plays, so I'm pretty looking forward to see. I've got one more round to put in on the new England Golf app, and then we'll actually see what handicap we are. So it's pretty exciting, and I was having to run towards the end because we've just completely lost sunlight, but really happy, really happy with